Welcome back to Start Your Day. Some proclaim the title of social media influencer just because they have a lot of followers. But our next guest is using her platform for good to reach her 1 million followers around the world. Bree Hall is a social media creator and motivational speaker who turned her creative passions into an opportunity to increase awareness of social justice and mental health. She's launching her latest project tomorrow, a podcast called Count to 10, her way of breaking the silence and creating a safe, educational, yet entertaining space where listeners can feel seen and heard. Here's a sneak peek.
Today's gonna be my day. I'm up early. You know what? I'm really on it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Is that your real hair? It's huge. Can I touch it?
Please don't. Oh, and you did it anyway. Oh wow, this is happening right in the middle of the office. Let me count to 10 before I lose this job.
In case you haven't noticed, marginalized people live many realities and fight many battles at the same time, even if it's just hair.
Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And the beautiful Bree joined us now from Los Angeles, up bright and early for us. Good morning, and thank you for starting your day with us.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, before we talk about that podcast that I'm so interested in, let's back it up a bit. Okay, so you studied animation and game design at the University of Maryland, and that's what led you to start your YouTube channel, right?
Correct. So I've always been super interested in art, and I wanted a way to actually expand my audience and also accumulate ideas, because as artists, sometimes we can get a bit of an artist block where you need ideas, and having a larger audience really does help stimulate creativity for me.
I love that. And sometimes having a big audience can kind of, some people, and I've seen with YouTubers, they kind of want to please their audience so much that they kind of lose themselves. How were you able to still find and keep your voice while also giving your followers what they want?
I feel like authenticity is a really, really big part of the platform. I always say the camera doesn't really lie when it comes to your energy and what you're passionate about. When you're passionate, it really shows on camera. So that's something that inspired me to stay true to myself. And also, I honestly have a hard time maintaining interest in things if I'm not really, really passionate about them. So naturally, I gravitated towards sharing my passions online.
I love that. And so your YouTube channel goes beyond just the traditional hair and beauty tutorials. We kind of talked about this on break. You use it as a sounding board for more personal topics like Black feminism and self-love. What inspired you to pull back that curtain a little bit more?
Well, I grew up in the DC area, in Southern Maryland, and I really also was first generation. So I feel that my diverse life experiences also prompted me to have a deepened sense of empathy for people from different backgrounds. And I always strive to not hate anything. And I feel like that came through a hunger to understand other people. So I feel that that had to be introduced into my channel. And plus, there was a lot of things that I didn't see on the platform yet. So I wanted to also create the things that I wanted to see.
I love that. You create what you want to see, and then people want to see it. I love that. So over time, you've developed your voice like you were talking about. You've presented a TED Talk and have grown on social media. You're confidently stepping into a new lane with that launch of your weekly podcast tomorrow called Count to 10. We had the cover art up just a little while ago. What's the premise behind that title?
Oh, I really love telling this story because when I was just standing in the mall one day, I really had an uncomfortable experience with the security guard. And then I was like, I took a step back. I said, let me count to 10, like bring it back to center. And that for that last few weeks, I was looking for a podcast name. And then all of a sudden that light bulb moment happened. And I said, oh my gosh, this is something that so many people that live on the margins of society go through on a daily basis, is needing to recalibrate when something like that happens. So that was the real premise for the name Count to 10, where I wanted everyone to share those experiences with me and with the world.
And it's funny that it is called Count to 10, ironically, because I'm the same way. I have to breathe, and I count to 10, and then I move forward, because life can get very stressful even if you're just at the mall or doing everyday tasks. But what are some of the topics that you'll discuss and explore in this podcast?
Oh, I'm excited. So our first episode is going to be about natural hair and the Crown Act. As we know that it's not fully legal in several states to not be discriminated on based on your hair texture. So of course, me being a natural hair influencer, that just felt very, very right on the money for something I'm passionate about. We also speak about spirituality, mental health, self-care, human sexuality, intersectionality, and the list just goes on and on.
Well, I'm definitely going to be listening, and I love that you are so open about talking about mental health, being a Black woman. Why is it so important to talk about that, specifically being a Black woman and within the Black community?
Wow, I think this is such an important question. I feel as though even myself growing up with a really supportive parent, I still had a lot of questions and things I wanted to explore. And with that, I was constantly looking for safe spaces, which is even why I kind of gravitated towards the internet and online, because I was able to cultivate a community. So I feel that podcasts such as Count to 10 cultivate a safe space for listeners to both hear conversations that they might not be exposed to in maybe their hometown, or engage in conversations via the show notes and the comment section. So I'm excited that it's giving people not only a sounding board, but a platform to also raise awareness and suggest topics.
I love that, and I will be there listening. But for our viewers out there who want to support and listen to your podcast, where can they do that?
Oh, wow. So our podcast launches tomorrow. It feels surreal to say that, on Tuesday, January the 18th. And it will be coming out weekly every Tuesday on all streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, the whole plethora of podcast streaming networks. So I'm very excited.
And we are excited for you, Bree. Bree Hall, thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward, and I definitely will be listening to that podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today.